sass in every way. Talking fast, not a pause in sight. Lene's got my head in a spin tonight. Oh, shut up, Lene, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Podcast queen with a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Lene makes it a wild ride. Poetry with a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Lene makes it a wild ride. Oh, shut up, Lene, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Lene, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me in. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Lene laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Trying to keep this show as planned. Lene laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, shut up, Lene, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Let me share. Oh, Lene, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. Oh, shut up, Lene, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Lene, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Lene laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Lene laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day.
Good morning again. Good morning, good morning. All right,
Good
Max,
morning, Liz.
you got a girlfriend?
I tried to read a bit of that, to see what was new, and it says learn more, but it would have taken too long, so I just left it. But I've got it open on my phone here, so if you want me to read a little bit out, and maybe you'll understand, or someone in the chat will understand how this all works.
Yeah, we'll just have to, I'll do some research and figure it out. You know what, just leave it. I don't understand why they make so many changes. The only change I would like
I
to
know.
see at StreamYard is that, you know how in the chat, I would like to see it be more like a texting format, like where somebody
Yeah.
could thumbs up it or send a laughing emoji on
Yeah.
somebody's. You know what I'm saying? I would like
Yeah.
to see that. Other than that, I don't need to go to Mars, y'all. I'm trying to stay right here in the 1G.
I know they should give it you be able to do more with your emojis and make it easier. I mean, I don't know about you, on the laptop it's so hard. You've got to
It
like
is.
out your way to get emojis up on your phone. It's so easy, but it's absolutely crazy. So what I've just read there, it's saying, say for example, you can, if you pick the two, one will go live on here, so to speak, and if you're on TikTok, it'll go live on TikTok as well.
Well, I'm
But
not
it needs
going live on
to
TikTok.
fast to find out how the fuck that you interact with your chat over there. I mean, we're not on that anyway, but how would you interact with the chat? So
I
don't
I
understand
think
it at all.
people probably have like 2 different screens going, and I don't have that. And I'm not going to get that.
No, I couldn't cope with that. I wouldn't have a clue. Can I
No,
just
that's too
do one?
much. That's too much. Good
Yeah.
morning, everybody. Lunch Lady, MJD, Lizzo, Lolly and Pops, anybody, Melly Joe. Thank you guys for putting that in, Lizzo and Lunch Lady. I appreciate it so much. And anybody else in hanging out in the naked bushes, welcome.
Oh, it was Lolly's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Lolly.
Hold on a minute.
Hold on, hold on.
Hold on. Wait
Maggie's
there,
got
Lol.
this down like.
Oh, are you ready, everyone? Right, let's see. So
Hit
we
it,
have
girl.
To take this, we have to take this overlay off you've got on. Looking for the overlay. Where is it, Lee?
I'm looking.
I've got
Okay,
it.
there we go.
Happy birthday to you.
To you.
Birthday to you.
To you.
Birthday, dear Lolly and Pops. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip.
Woo! Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Yay! Happy
Happy birthday!
Oh, I'm made up that I've got that now. Now I don't know how
Lunch.
to take it off. It's not moving.
It's not moving.
Okay, what's going
Good
on?
morning, Beth. Good morning.
Hiya, Beth. Oh, how do we take it off, Lee?
Oh, good grief, Maggie.
Oh, dear God.
You
Listen, I'm out. Oh, Gail, where is it? Can't take it off. Normally, if you click on it, look what
Why
happens when
did?
I click.
Oh my God! Why?
We go
you-
missing. Oh my God.
Oh, see, it's screwing us up.
Let's see. Will we put that one on instead? No, Gail, it won't move. It's putting all kinds on. Oh,
This is
what's changed
so-
on here? This is
oh.
absolutely pathetic. Oh, we are. How did you do that?
Because you had it as a background instead of up there as the
background off.
as the overlay, and I clicked the background off because.
Well, I tried to do that and it wouldn't budge.
Is that a little bright for the morning?
She is on me, that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Put something else up.
Let's see. What's that one? Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Dear God and Holy Mother, hang on, will ya? Give me. Get that off. Hang on. Right, I've took that off. I can't bear that colour. That putting years on me, Lene.
You have to hit the more.
Can we have that one?
Hit the more.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, okay.
Down
Come
there.
on, more.
Hit the more, Maggie.
I'll hit you right in your fucking nose in a minute. Hang on.
All right, dummy. Listen, let me tell y'all one, Maggie. Hit the more.
Oh, I can't get that shitty colour off. How do I do it?
Oh my God. Hit the more.
I just clicked it again.
Okay, do you see the more next to it?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yes,
click that. And then you could pick one to put up yourself.
I know, but we've already got some up already.
Fine, Maggie. Fine.
Just leave that, Lee. I can't be arsed with all this, guys. I'm not into all this. I'm sick of it. Carry on, Lee. This is it now. See what I mean? 2 kids playing now. 2 kids playing. Let's go.
All right, we do have way too much fun with that crap, for real. We need more. So funny.
We could literally have a fight just sending them guys.
Just-
Normal.
Big D. All right, guys, listen. So I seriously got up early just to talk to Maggie. Because we don't get to talk that often. So it's like I heard Beefcake's alarm going off. I hadn't made his coffee, which if I'm sleeping, it doesn't matter. I've got it all set up. He's just got to pour the water in and hit the button. But I thought, I was like, I'll get to talk to Mags. She's been having death threats by Jesse. So anyways, and then y'all, we got on this topic. We talked about a little bit of everything, and we got on this topic, and she was telling me about something that she had watched on YouTube, because for the last 5 hours last night, you guys, I was going to go live. I brought my Christmas tote out to at least start on one, and I got hooked on Michael Jackson. Y'all don't ask. Okay, it's just a thing with me. If something interests me, then I get on it, and then I don't stop until I get enough.
See? She's made today now.
Anywho, I make myself giggle. If you don't get that, then you don't know Michael's songs. But anyways, so yeah, I was doing a bunch of researching on Michael. So anyways, Maggie and I started talking about the stuff that she was watching. And I was like, can we go live? Can we? So we are. Here we are.
So let me just explain a little bit. I know we've all heard that the Idaho murders and what went on and the injuries that were sustained, which was just awful. But I was listening to Joseph Morgan Scott. He was being interviewed by someone, I don't even know who it was. I didn't even look at his name, to be honest, but I've not seen him before. And he didn't even know about the Idaho murders. He'd only just recently seen it when it came on the TV. So Joseph Scott Morgan was explaining about what had gone on, from the beginning, blah, blah, blah. But it was the little details. Sorry, I'm sucking a calcium tablet. He was going into details of little things. Shut up, you're only jealous. And things that we hadn't heard before, or I hadn't heard before, or he was telling things differently or going more into it. And I just found it really interesting. I was like, oh my God, wonder if Lene's heard this, do you know what I mean? So that's what I was saying to her. I've been watching nothing but just true crime and the interview room, blah, blah, blah. So she says, oh, let's go. And so that's what it's all about. If you haven't heard it and you're into this, you're going to find it interesting. Go on.
Look, I want to show you what Lolly said real quick. She said, it's a birthday I'll remember. My sister passed in her sleep the day before. At least she didn't pass on my birthday. That's terrible, Lolly. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. That really does suck. But you know what? I am thankful that she did not pass on your birthday, because that's just terrible. It's terrible enough, but that would really just have sucked so bad.
It was, yeah.
And
we're talking about the Idaho case, MJD.
Who's knocking at your door? You sound like PCT.
What?
Did y'all hear that knocking?
What do you mean?
Lunch lady said that was off the wall, so she gets it. All right. Anyways, but it's not just the Idaho 4 that he talks about. He's talking about Epstein too. But Maggie did learn something this morning that she did not know, and the rest of you English over there, I don't know if you've heard of it either, but somehow we got on talking about schools and people identifying. And I was telling her about how in our schools over here, we've got people that seriously, literally, and I'm sure other people in America do too, literally identify as cats. And they're on all fours walking around, and they have a collar and all that. And Maggie did not know that really, really happened.
And in a
Uh,
school with such young kids, I was so shocked that
yeah,
we got
elementary
told
school.
that someone was coming into the school identifying as a cat, and the kids, had to be kind and not bully or anything. I couldn't get over it. I've never heard of a cat. I've heard of all other things. I mean, I've heard of people marrying aeroplanes, but not actually going into the school, the parents, to say their child identifies as a cat. Now, I can't
I've
get over
never heard
it.
of
Not right.
anybody marrying an airplane, but I want to meet that person because something's really wrong and they need
Peggy
counseling
told
from me.
me that, but
Well, where's Peggy? Because I need to know.
I know. Peggy, get in here and tell us. But
Tell
yeah,
us
I've
about the
heard of
airplane.
people marrying horses and cars and stuff like
The
that.
fuck?
I've heard of all that, and I think, fucking hell. But when you told me actually about your grandkids all being
Yeah.
informed, not just your grandkids' school being informed that a child was
Mhm.
going in and would only be identified as a cat, and it walked on its knees and its hands. Now, is anyone shocked by that? Does anyone know about it? Because I'd never heard of that. And Lene said it was quite a big thing there, that everyone was talking about it.
Melly Jo says, yes, my friend works at a school and she told me that they have 3 kids that
Oh,
identify as cats. And
oh
that's
my.
over in Australia. Australia.
Okay.
But yeah, one of my granddaughters 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, when she was in kindergarten, they had you know how they do like messages over the intercom in the morning and all that. They get their day started. Well, one of the messages that came over was that they had a child that just enrolled in school and she identifies as a cat and that they're all to be respectful to her and respectful of her identity and no making fun, all this other stuff. Well, my little granddaughter was scared to death, you guys, all day long she didn't know what that meant. In her mind, she had blown this person up to be half cat, half
Yeah.
human, and was going to attack her in the hallways. And so she went home and crying and telling her parents, well, y'all know my Huckleberry. He went up to that school the next day, y'all, and let them have it. And I haven't heard anything about the cat child since. Crazed to 5. Oh my goodness. Look who jumped
Oh, are
in.
you, Grace?
How are you, girl? So good to see you.
Oh, good to see you. I hope you're okay.
Melly Jo says that she thought she was joking, but she was serious and she was shocked. Yeah, it's
Can't
it's
get
a
over it, Mel. I
I
totally
think a lot of Americans now we're kind of over it. Like now in my
not
family, we
shocked
just
it
make fun of
anymore,
it.
does it? Not
Yeah, we
shocked
just
it anymore.
yeah, we
All
just
this
are just like, are you?
identity, sexuality, I'm not bothered about that, each to their own. But to identify as a cat, for fuck's sake. If my
I know.
child, I mean, surely that's got to come from the parents. What's the parents at? Is the kid the kitten, and the parents are the mum and cats, the mum and dad cats? I don't get it, because where did this come from? If my kid's starting to meow around me, then I'm gonna think, maybe it's got a tick or something. There's something wrong. No, they have these things where they come out with, what is it called? Where they burst out swearing and stuff like that.
Yeah, Tourette's.
Yeah, so Tourette's comes with a load of other stuff as well sometimes. So you'd take your kid to the doctor, wouldn't you, and say, she's starting to meow and wanting to be a cat, blah, blah, blah. So they'd say, when my son got a tick, which means he started twitching on his neck, I thought, oh, fucking hell. The doctor said, just ignore him. Just ignore him. And it was so hard at times. But he did. It just stopped. For as long as it went on, it stopped, and that was it. But you would do your best to try and not feed into that, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
You tapped yourself. I mean,
Beth
come on.
says my daughters sometimes identify as foghorns, especially when they're fighting with each other. Never cats though. And Lizzo and I are separated at birth sometimes. She said I would give my kids a slap and tell them to
Yeah,
snap out of it, make them eat
yeah,
cat food and shit in a litter tray. Well, that's
yeah.
what I told Maggie. I said, I wonder if they go outside to shit every day. And if they're giving them a bowl of milk at lunchtime, I mean, you
I
know,
know.
all
I'd say
kids
you
role
fucking
play.
you start fucking meowing in front of anyone I know, you'll be getting it. I'll get you by your fucking tail and throw you right out.
Betsy says, Mom, give me a slap. I identify as an asshole. And Lizzo agrees she's an asshole.
No, but come on. I mean, I was shocked by that. I mean, I am very open-minded, honestly. Nothing shocks me anymore, but that did shock me. I mean, I've heard of people identifying as all kinds, but not parents that have actually gone into a school to say their child identifies as a cat. That just shocks me.
Yeah, I mean, kids
Once she said there's
play.
all kinds, you'd hear of all kinds.
Yeah, kids role play. They, you know, when they're little, they if they're around the dog, they act like the dog. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
my God, when it's time to put on your shoes, you better be up on 2 feet. And if a meow comes out of your mouth one time, I'm slapping the mouth.
Yeah.
Seriously, I taught you how to speak. I remember when baby Chow was a baby. Y'all, he knew as good as I did how to say chocolate, right? Here comes my mom. Baby, you want some chalky milk? I was like, Mom, what are you doing? She said, I'm making some chocolate milk. I was like, then ask him if he wants chocolate milk. And she's like, oh, he's a baby. And I was like, oh, but he's already learned chocolate. Come up with a different word that he still talks baby talk about. You know, I'm trying to grow a child here. But anyways, I wish I hadn't made such a big deal about that. Now that my mom's gone, it's easy to, you know,
Well, we've
beat
all
yourself
done it,
up
haven't we?
later. Well, I
Lolly
think
said, went asleep and never woke up, but what a way to go. Well, Gail, if you had a choice, I'm sure anyone would pick that way, wouldn't they? So I'm glad, and for your sake too, that you've got that memory of a nice passing. You know, it couldn't be any nicer, could it? If you know, to have someone go that way. So sad.
yeah. Lizzo says, Lolly, that is the best way to go, but still very sad. We never know when our time's up. Thank God it was a peaceful passing. Amen. Cray said, I read an article with the furries. Crazy. See, that's what they call themselves. They call themselves furries. And it's just accepted. Yeah, they actually have, they look like costumes, but they're not really costumes. Like in these cute kid stores, like they'll wear their ears and they're put on whiskers and shit like that. I'm just like,
oh. So did you sit at a desk in school?
I guess
on the floor.
I don't know. I'd throw him a blanket. I'd throw him a bone. Here you go. I mean,
well, yeah, because if it's snow, and I'd say, well, go on, get on your knees and your fucking hands and walk, innit? You're a cat, aren't you?
Oh, you know, it's only when it's convenient for them. Don't inconvenience them.
Yeah.
MJ
I remember
says,
it was a thing round here. Every girl of, say, 11 up to 15, whatever, were, 1 week they were lesbian. Then they were, bisexual. That went on for a good few years. I don't know. That's when my son was still active in school, so we knew all about it. I don't know whether it's the same now, where they're just swapping by the minutes their identities and who they are. So the world's gone crazy.
It's gone crazy. And what's crazier is if you don't accept it. If you don't accept it, you're a hater and you're a bigot and you're this and that. Oh, it's terrible.
We're going to be the odd ones soon, Gail. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We'll be the odd ones soon. I mean, as I say, sexuality, each to their own, doesn't bother me. But
it doesn't bother me either. I don't give a shit, but I don't want to have to explain.
Well, come on. You're getting fucking rehomed. How about that? You're getting rehomed.
Yeah.
You soon fucking knock your cat.
I just think that we have forgotten that there's a certain appropriate age for everything. And I'm sorry, my kindergarten grandchild being scared to death all day long because she thought a cat human was going to get her and eat her in the hallway. That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. What is a bitty? I don't know. What is
Y'all
a
don't know what
bitty?
a biddy is? Oh,
Come on.
a biddy, like an old biddy, like
We'd say a
like
biddy. No,
I'm a
bid.
biddy.
Well, we say a biddy. Oh, she means a biddy. You said Torsa. She said biddy. Lizzo. She mean biddy. A
Yeah,
biddy.
like an old cranky lady,
Yeah,
old
like a cranky old woman. Yeah,
yeah.
biddy. Yeah. Okay. I think she just did it wrong.
MJ says, isn't that a sex kink? I think that's how it started out. I really, really do. I think we have got to I don't know. I'm always screaming, can't we just go back to the basics? Because I think kids are just exposed to way too much. But the reason
I
why
agree.
it's easier I think the reason why it's okay to expose kids so early is because so that they will be,
Easy influenced.
yeah, I mean, it'll just be the norm to them. When they're in
Yeah.
kindergarten and then they see, 2 years later and they see a couple of cats walking around on all fours in a restaurant that look like humans, but they got collars on, that it's not going to be anything to them. They're just desensitizing kids.
Exactly.
But they're doing the
I mean,
same thing with sex, and they've been doing it
yeah.
since,
For a while. They've been
to the
doing it
kid.
for a while. I didn't even know about it till my friend told me about it. But I had a bit of a disagreement with her son because we got onto the subject and I said, why don't they leave them and let them be babies? Why are they teaching them at such a young age in school about sex? We were never taught about sex, Lene. It was just something we all learned about and that's it.
No,
Well, he was like, well, what age do you think is the right age to be told? I went, well, definitely not 4 and 5-year-olds. I said, some kids are different. They mature differently. When your child's mature enough and you want to speak to them about things like that. But he was like disgusted in me that I had that outlook that it shouldn't be taught in schools to young children.
absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't have sex. Now, I know this was back in the olden days, but
Me
I didn't
neither.
have we just had hygiene. Like
And
all the girls,
look how you turned out,
and look
Smooch.
how I turned out.
Oh dear God, we best keep it on then. If you're an example.
But the girls went into one class, the guys went into another, and you were taught how your body was going to change and how you would deal with that, and the guys would, and then the deodorant was this essential, and carrying a pad in your purse is not a bad thing. And then the guys were just taught about, just puberty stuff. That's what they were talking about. And you know what? Really, that's all they need to know, because here, listen, I didn't teach my kids about the birds and the bees. My sister did. I didn't know how to do it. That's one thing as a parent. I think because during that time, like, I was so sheltered that I didn't even say the word sex. So I didn't know.
I went around it, but he was about 21. I'm only kidding.
Well, I tried to talk to Baby Chow about it.
Shut up. Didn't want to know.
I didn't talk to the other three. My sister did. But I tried to talk to Baby Chow about it when he first got a girlfriend. And y'all, it was terrible. We were upstairs and I just sat down on the bed and I was like, I think we got to have a talk. And he's like, okay, what about? And I was like, sex. And he said, I already know about sex, Mom. I've taken a sex ed, not once, but twice. And I was like, okay, well, I want to make sure you got the right information. He said, if you say that word again, I'm calling my dad. And then I was like, Rhett, it's not I just said my son's name. Sorry. I was like, it's not a big deal. He ended up calling his dad upstairs on me and told his dad, if she says that word one more time, I'm getting in my car. He was old enough to drive. He said, I'm getting in my car and I'm running away. I'm never coming back here. This is disturbing. And then my husband was like, come on. And I was like, damn it. And so because I told him, I was like, are you going to ever
It's
talk to your
just like you
son?
think it's the right thing to do, don't you?
Yeah.
You try to approach it, whether you get anywhere. I didn't, like your son, he knew it all, and that was the end of it. I just wanted to be like a good
Hi,
parent,
Rose
like
Petal.
trying
Good
to
to
talk
see
to him.
you.
Hi, Rose Petal, but it's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I had told Beefcake like months prior. I was like, look, have you had that talk with your son? And he was like, no, but I will. Well, he wasn't doing it quick enough to me. So I was like, got a girlfriend, got to get in there and talk to him. So we get downstairs and he just looked at me. He's like, why would you do that? And I was like, because you wouldn't. And I had to make sure he got and he said, I had planned on it. I was like, he's had a girlfriend for 2 weeks. He could have already done the deed. You could be a grandpa.
Yeah.
Anyways, it turned out terrible. So I don't even say those words in front of baby child. And y'all, he just turned 22 yesterday. And he's
was he
still
22 yesterday, Lee?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's still like, there are just certain things that if he hears me speak on, because I asked baby child what loosh was, right? Because I'm hearing from certain people this word. I was like, so I texted baby chow, right? And I was like, what does this word mean? He said, where'd you hear that from? And I said, someone on the internet. He said, quit talking like that. He said, first of all, you're way too old to be talking like that. He said, and second of all, I don't even talk like that. He said, who are you hanging around with? And I said, obviously people that don't have any.
Say Maggie.
I said, because none of us know what it is. And he said, it's just stupid. It's really stupid. And then I looked it up.
What's the word?
Stupid. Loosh. And it's really just digging into your, what did I read on it? Since baby chow wouldn't tell me. He doesn't like me learning any kind of new things because
I know.
he really thinks
the
new things are
Think
stupid.
back in the day, if your parents, if my mum said something that was a bit, ooh, I'd be like, what are you saying? That was a bit disgusted. So probably they're the same.
Yeah, I think I gross him out.
Bit
Now the older ones,
yeah.
but you know what? I think it's boys. Now y'all have got girls and boys. Y'all go ahead and put it in the chat. I think it's boys that have more problems with it coming out of their mother's mouths because
Yeah,
my
I've only got a
girls,
few, so, yeah.
they want to talk about everything, and sometimes I'm like, y'all, listen, I'll give you some money for counseling. I don't want to be your counselor. I ended that when you moved out of my house. Like, I don't want to know what goes on in your marriages. But the girls,
what point do parents be parents and be responsible and tell their kids you are not a cat or a washing machine?
Lizzo has been on a roll. Since Homegirl's been running her own channel, she has been on a roll. Lizzo ain't taking shit from nobody.
Oh,
welcome back, Andy. Good to see you. Craig says we have a school here where kids go that some dress like that and act that way and are considered to learn in different ways. And hallways have small pets, plants, dance.
I can't get over that washing machine. Oh my God. Anyway.
Mom, I identify as a washing machine. I be throwing all the dirty clothes on top of it. Get to washing, bitch.
Yeah, throwing the clothes
Let's
on
go.
top. Putting them in the bath, filling the bath up, the tub as you say, and throwing all the clothes in and going, do your job.
Do your job.
I put you on a 45-minute cycle. Keep going for 45 minutes.
Hi, Anne. Good to see you. Rose Petal said, if my kids came home and said they were a cat, I would have flipped out. Yeah, they would have had to walk. I would have, you know what I would have said? Please walk back out the front door and come back in as my child. If not, I'm a trash.
Go and get a little crate thing, a box, and throw them in it and saying
God.
you're going to get rooms. Get in.
Beth says, honestly, it's time to admit, I admit as a microwave, I sometimes go in the kitchen, spin around in circles, hum to myself, and beep after 2 minutes. Beth, get on some pills.
Oh, yeah, Beth, you need to go and see your quack. Oh, my God. Me and Beth watched a program where a woman was saying she identifies as furniture. She was stood,
Oh
she was
my
stood in the
God.
corner of the room with a chuff and lampshade on her head. The
Oh
stupid cow.
my God.
I'd have been tapping her, saying, "Can you go a bit brighter? A bit brighter, a bit lower." And then pretended to pull the little cords and go to bed and say, "You can't move, you've got to stand there all night, you're a lamp. Good morning, good night, see you tomorrow." Oh, guys, it is hilarious. I mean, is there anyone here that identifies as a
Bethy,
cat?
I'll send you
Because
some,
I'm not
honey.
being funny. You're mental. And I don't say stuff often, but I am saying that if you identify as a cat, you're mental. Ends off. Is there anyone in this chat, all joking aside, identify anything as anything else other than a human? Please let me know in chat, please. I'm very
Yeah,
interested.
because we don't want to be offensive, of course. I'm gonna make fun of your asses like
But
crazy.
still, I'm not
kidding you.
accepting. I'm not
If-
fucking talking to a cat, Lee. I'm not going to go because sometimes they talk like that, don't they? Because we had one like that.
Lizzo's a
You're a little
turd.
shit, Lizzo. You're a shit.
And we are talking about people identifying as stuff because Maggie found out that here in the United States, there are kids in school that identify as cats and they're to be respected that way. It is the most retarded. And if that word offends you guys, I'm sorry. I was raised with that word and it meant something totally different than what y'all take it as. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I say it, now if I would say fucking retarded, then I'm probably trying to be offensive. But if I don't have the fuck before it, then I'm just saying a word that I'm used to saying. And I hate it that everybody's fucking offended. Why?
Oh, they get offended over everything these days. You can't say boo to a goose and they're kicking off.
Oh, it's dumb.
It doesn't, honestly, it doesn't. As you say, when someone's being offensive, Lene. You don't need a word to say someone. You know by tone.
Exactly.
If someone's being offensive.
Well, I
used to talk to our cat like that, MJD. And it talked back to me.
JB, what up, badass? I asked because my oldest grandchild, she was driving me around Cincinnati and we talked so much. It was so fun. And she said, she had called something retarded. I was like, oh, are you allowed to say that? And she said, of course I'm allowed to say it. Daddy lets me say it. And I was like, no. Like, isn't it offensive? She said, well, I wouldn't say it like in school. But she said, me and my friends say it. We don't think nothing bad about it. And I was like, oh, thank God you're being raised
what I mean,
right.
you've got a warehouse. Oh, God, JB, got a migraine again, Gail. Don't worry.
No.
Oh, and you look lovely on your profile here, Gail. Your hair looks lovely. Dead thick.
Dead thick.
Dead thick.
Hiss.
And it is worrying. Someone coming home and saying you want to be a cat. If that was my kids, I'd be terrified. I'd be like, oh my God, don't you fucking dare start this in this house that you're a cat. It's not happening. If you want to be a cat, go and sit in the fucking garden. But it stops when you come over this doorstep. Oh, no. That's not normal.
That's a check in a Raj.
I'm telling you, it's just crazy. Anyway, let me get back onto this program. So I know we're going here, there and everywhere. But if I don't speak when I remember, then it's not going to happen. So the beginning of this Joseph Scott Morgan program, live, whatever, he's talking about Epstein and how he died and because he's a medical examiner, he does autopsies all the time. He's done thousands.
Oh, I want
He
to go
was
call him.
saying that this bone is like sort of like a horseshoe, and it goes way back, and he was pointing to his neck whereabouts it goes, and he was showing you with a type of a noose thing, where the noose would go and what it would do. So he has come to the conclusion, he would say he's been murdered. So I think he was murdered. I seen a clip as well of someone going up a ladder in an orange suit. It was only quick, but it was there. So we don't know what everyone's thoughts are on that. If you think he was murdered or he killed, unalived himself. So that's what the beginning of this program's about, is Epstein. Then it goes into the Idaho 4. But I just found the whole live really, really interesting. Honestly, it did. And I know you'll think you've heard it all before, but there is a lot that Joseph Scott Morgan puts in there. And it's the way he's explaining things and he's describing things. He's very graphic. So you need to be aware of that.
Yeah, so we're going to give out. Hi, Ellie. Hey, girl. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to quickly nip on and say this is my new YouTube account, as I can't seem to get onto my other anymore. How is all right, do me a favor, you guys. If we could drop Ellie's new link in the chat, and while you guys are at it, Ellie, that's Beth's partner.
Oh, Ellie. Okay, Elle. Good to see you, girl. I was thinking, who is it? Has someone changed the name? I didn't recognize who it was. Sorry, Elle.
Bye, Andy. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, mods, everybody drop their own links. I sometimes forget to do that. So y'all sub up to Ellie. As soon as I get off here, Ellie, I'll sub up as well, because I'm in StreamYard right now and we can't do it from here. So let me just go ahead and give out a trigger warning, and let you guys know that that this is graphic material. You may hear some things that are disturbing to you from crime scenes coming from a well-known coroner that our favorite true crime lawyer talks to a lot. Everybody know who she is. Give it up for Nancy. Give it up for Nancy, y'all.
Whoa.
She is our girl completely. We love Nancy around here. And that's how I found Joe Scott Morgan, actually. And
you know what? Cut his mic. No offense, but do you realize how crazy you sound right now?
Yes.
Put it after the cat. Yeah.
We love us some Nancy around here, and he's on her program a lot, and when they're going at it with each other, we love it. So we're going to start this. Fair Use Disclaimer. Copyright Act of 1976 gives allowance for this content to be used for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, and scholarship and research. We will be having to stop this, you guys, because this is a podcast that does not belong to either Maggie or I. We don't need a copyright on it. So we will be stopping and having a chit chat about things that we heard, that we've seen, that whatever. This podcaster's name is Danny Jones. This is the first time I'm having a look at him, and maybe some of y'all as well. I have subscribed to him already, and I will send him an email thanking him for letting us discuss his content. So we'll be stopping it every now and then so we don't get a copyright on it. Again, this is Joseph Scott Morgan's take on a couple of high-profiled crime scenes as using his coroner skills. Thank you so much, Melly, for putting that in chat. Thank you. And
if you need to go and get a coffee or a cuppa or whatever, put your feet up and listen to this, because I think it's really, really good. I mean, I do anyway.
and I'm excited to look at it. So all right, you guys watch your ears. I'm going to make it as big as I can. We'll take me and Max down, put this up biggest. I have to leave Don't Be a Dick there, you guys, because I have to remind myself not to be a dick because I'm a number one dick. Those are my initials. I was born a dick, married a dick. I'm going to die a dick. Okay. Just think it's really my initials.
I'm going to go on mute.
Thank you guys so much for putting the links in chat. You guys sub up to my friends, please. All right, guys, watch your ears. Here it comes.
One of the biggest pieces of evidence that I've been aware of about Epstein's case is that he had the hyoid bone fracture in his neck, right? And that's one of the bones where I could be wrong, but I think they did I read one time there was a study across all the hangings across they took a bunch of hanging victims, and that hyoid bone was only broken in like a small subset of those hangings. Yeah. And I guess there has to be a ton of trauma for the specific bone to break. Yeah. And in his neck, it was broken.
Yeah, it was. And it's not just his hyoid bone. He's got two fractures of his cartilage in his larynx, which if you find your Adam's apple, it's like right in its bilateral. So you've got a fracture. And again, using this term, they're both in the vertical plane. Mm-hmm. So you've got one here, you've got one here, and then the hyoid's an interesting bone. It's
Uh-oh. Are you aware it stopped?
Damn it. Yes. Before I go on with this, if you guys don't mind just putting in chat before you hear his take on this, whether you believe up to this point that Epstein was murdered or did he really take his own life? I will say when it all first happened, I believed he just took his own life. I mean, yeah, I just believed it, right? They said it. I believed it. What do I care? I didn't have it. And the more that I hear, the more names that I hear and how serious it was, I truly believe that he was murdered. What says you, Maggie?
I believe he was murdered too. Yeah.
Okay. So y'all go ahead and put that in chat and just see if this makes you maybe not change your mind, but maybe want to delve deeper into it.
Yeah.
All right. So far, Ann says murdered for sure. And Lizzo thinks took his own life. All right. Let's get back to this. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, like we said, this is Joseph Scott Morgan. He is he's a coroner. He knows what he's talking about. He has done thousands and thousands of these. All right. Hired murderer. Okay. That's what the FBI is telling us. All right, here we go.
So don't settle for less. Here's what others are doing to fix missing and broken teeth. The company everyone has been raving about is called Nuvia, with thousands of
It's the only bone in the human body that does not articulate with another bone. Just let that sink in for a second. It's
stationary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in soft tissue, its sole purpose, actually, it anchors our tongue in the back of our throat. It holds it in place, and it's bird.
Oh wow!
It's kind of bird-like in shape, and it's got two greater horns and two lesser horns. And some people describe it as a bird-like structure. Some people say that it's got the appearance of a horseshoe. I've heard that, but it's kind of crescent shaped. Okay. So it's anchoring the tongue back here. Let me just run down the list.
Yeah.
One of the problems is with hyoid, one of the reasons you don't see it commonly fractured in hangings is that it's so high up in the neck.
Right.
I mean, it is superior just about to everything else right here. I borrowed this cord real quick.
Of course.
If it's not anchored in something. Just
it can pull out. Yeah.
Sorry. So let's just think about for a second, classic hanging. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So classic hanging, you have to be most of the time suspended or partially suspended. So if you think about a noose, it's better if you use your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Think about a noose that runs up like this. Okay. Now it goes up generally behind your ears. Okay. And it comes to an apex back here. And that
Trigger warning, you guys. If this is not your jam, I understand if you have to leave the building and come back for another live. This one is totally going to be about listening to him talk about a couple of high-profile cases and giving us his thoughts on what exactly happened as what a coroner would see. All right. So if this kind of, it's very graphic. If this kind just gives you the hibby-jibbies or you just feel like you can't handle the stuff, no offense taken whatsoever. And we will see you on the next one. Protect your mental health, okay?
that's what, in our parlance, it's what we refer to as a tinting feature. It's T-E-N-T-I-N-G. So you get this apex at the top right here. It travels upward, comes to an apex right here, and all your body weight essentially is being supported by this location right here. Okay. Suspended. Now, you can have a partial suspension. Okay. The medical examiner in New York, OCME, referred to it as a soft hanging, which to me implies that you're not suspended like classic. You can sit, and yes, people hang themselves by sitting. Aside from gunshot wounds relative to hanging, in my little slice of the pie was the most frequent mode because everybody owns a ligature. Not everybody owns a gun. Everybody owns a ligature. You can make them. I've seen them made out of
Like a
bed
rope
sheets,
or something.
rope, belt. Belt is very common. So with that said, how do you get the hyoid fractured so high, and particularly so that you have to have enough velocity to drop and get this thing to fracture? Now, one of the things that she said was that he, due to his age, that she believes that his hyoid had ossified to the point where it was fragile. Okay, I'll go down that road with you, but how are you going to explain these fractures here in kind of the soft, more malleable cartilage? And it's running, Danny, it's running bilateral. They're running north and south, vertical plane right here, and they're on the either side. It takes that kind of pressure in order to do that, or maybe a readjustment. Also, the ligature mark that he has on his neck does not go up and down.
It's horizontal.
Running parallel to the shoulders like this. You don't have this thing that's going up behind his ears like you normally see. I got to tell you, when I'm just looking at the images, and anybody can see these images.
These are just public images that you found.
Yeah. You know where they come from? The 60-minute special that was ran back in, what was it, 19 or whenever it was. They did.
Yeah.
And you could knock me over with a feather because you got to see all of these images and the interior of the cell. They're out there. Just check them out for yourself. Don't believe a damn thing I say. All right. Just go look at them.
All right. I'm going to stop it right here.
These images.
Do what? Has anybody seen images? I never saw them.
I seen one.
Did you?
Yeah. It was just an image of his neck, and it was showing all the bruising on the different parts of his neck.
You know, I never thought about that. I mean, it's not that I think about, taking someone's life or someone taking their life that often, but thankfully, that's never. It hasn't been too many in my world that I've had to think about it, but that makes so much sense. The image that they showed, if someone is actually strangling you, it would be like straight backwards, right? It wouldn't be at an angle unless they're 7 or 8 feet tall and you're like 5 foot. You know what I mean? Then they're
Yeah.
kind of hanging them up. And then for to strangle yourself with something, it would be in an upward motion. Yeah.
Upwards angle, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense, doesn't it? The way he was holding the cords,
Yeah.
showing it on his hands.
Never
You know,
thought about that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Anne says that's why she never believed he was hanged. I thought he was strangled and my marks were straight, like he explained how.
Yeah.
You know what, I didn't even know that there were pictures of it out there, but I'm going to talk to Beefcake about it because Beefcake's the one that told me someone killed that man. And I was like, knock it off. But you know, the more I get into it, the more my world gets shattered. All right, let's get back to it.
So if you're trying to sell me on the idea that first off, he has hung himself and you're absent the tenting feature, what did he do? Did he lay down flat on the floor and the ligature went around his neck? And it looks like the ligature has been readjusted because you've got this kind of deep, it's an abraded furrow. Yeah, there you go, right there. This abraded furrow that's
Again,
running.
Steve, don't put this on the podcast.
That's running parallel, as you can well see. Do you see how one mark is low right there? It's really dark.
Yep. It looks like it was adjusted.
Another one, and then you've got another one that is superior that comes to like a little point right there. The sink's been moved in some way, and it's more dependent on his right side as opposed to the left side.
Yeah. And there's
that's
another
kinda
mark up there by his jaw.
Yeah, I'll give you another one, and this is available out there. Do you know he's got a deep tissue bruise right here in his trap?
Really?
Yeah, it's right here. You can see it. It's out there on the images too. Because I got to tell you, I don't know. What did he do? Bump into a wall backwards? I don't know
Right.
how you get this manifestation. Yeah, that's it right there. I don't know how you get that manifestation right there because it doesn't correlate with what you're seeing on the front. I have, you mentioned the study about the fractured hyoids.
Yep. Why does he have facial hair in the second one? Not the first one.
No, that's the back of his head.
Oh, that's the back of his head.
Yeah, that's like descending down the back right there. I've had one fractured hyoid that was not related to manual strangulation. You know what it was? A guy went over a 3-story off-ramp in New Orleans, 3-story, 2-story, doesn't matter. But in like a 1968 Pontiac that had the gigantic steering wheel, you know, like Mamaw drives, you know, like this.
He clotheslined himself on it.
Non-belted. He nosedived into the ground, and the 12 o'clock position of the steering wheel hit him right here, and it fractured his hyoid. It doesn't mean that it does happen. Okay, again, it's just my little slice of the world. But again, how do you account for this injury? Here, it's almost like there were two modalities being utilized here, or methodologies rather. A ligature and possibly either throttling. This is throttling.
Yeah.
Okay. You can do it either anteriorly, okay, or you can do it posteriorly. This is C-clamping, where you do this like this.
Yeah.
So do you have some kind of fight that's going on with, I don't know, himself? I have no idea. How do you get these manifestations injury-wise
Right.
in the neck? You know, Bodden was present. Dr. Michael Bodden was present for the autopsy. He is
Yeah. Explain who he is.
retained by Mark. I think it's Mark. Hope that's right.
Mark
Epstein, who is
The brother.
this guy's brother. So he was physically there, and his conclusions varied from hers. You know, you can say, well, yeah, Mark's got a dog in the fight.
Sure.
He's not.
Oh my God. bit, Lee. She's on the toilet.
I don't think it's a matter of him looking for money or anything like that. He thinks his brother was a victim of homicide. That's the reason he retained Dr. Bodden. You just don't go off the street and say, hey, want to go to an autopsy, Dr. Bodden? He's been retained. Okay. So he's working for Mark, or he's Mark's eyes and ears at a very high end. He's worked multiple over the course of his career. He was the chief medical examiner for the state of New York. I think he was either the deputy or chief medical examiner for the city of New York for a time. He consults on cases all over the country. I don't agree with everything that all of the conclusions he's reached in his life. The Michael Brown case in particular comes to mind. But he is respected. And he was physically there to watch this autopsy being performed, this examination.
So he just watched it.
Yeah, it's not like he's participating.
Right.
And I've been present for autopsies like that, where you have an interested third party that will be there, and most of the time there'll be some chatter, but most of the time they're merely observing. It's not like he went in and actually did the dissection of the neck, okay, where you're taking out the organs of the neck, as they're referred to. That's going to be part of OCME's team that does that, and they'll retain them. I hope they've retained them. I hope they've retained the larynx. I hope they've retained the hyoid bone. Hope that didn't go with his body.
All right, let me stop it right there, because we have to stop it every few seconds. We have to talk a few seconds. We're doing it every couple minutes, just to talk about stuff that's going on. What kills me about this, and I know Badass could probably speak more to it than I can, the FBI over there. This is so scary on so many different levels. I was telling Maggie earlier this morning, or wasn't it Maggie? Was it you that I was telling that my parents would not talk about the assassination of JFK?
Yeah.
Because I've always been interested in JFK because my parents talked about it slyly, kind of offhandedly. And when I would ask questions about it, my mom and dad both used to tell me, don't ask questions about that stuff. Don't talk about that stuff outside the house, because people disappear and people get killed for talking about stuff like that. And I just thought,
yeah.
okay, you
And
guys
you'll
are.
find on this as well, Lene, this other guy, whatever his name is, I forgot it. Danny is his name. Oh yeah, there it is. Danny. He asks some really good questions, especially about the Idaho one. So where you're thinking, oh God, I'm made up. You asked that he does. I mean, I'm sorry for the likes of families that are listening in. It must be awful. But it's the type of questions that you want them to ask.
Yes, absolutely.
Me and Lene want to know everything that is.
Everything. We want all the dirty deeds.
Well, it's this is what this is like. That's what I think anyway.
Thank you, Melly Joe, for putting in our fair use again is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And that's what we're doing here, you guys. But isn't it scary to think that just how many people, if he really was murdered, and I believe that he was, how many people had to know about it within the prison system, within the FBI, within our government, and everybody was okay with it?
Yeah, well, they just can't speak the mind. Got to be, like you say, you've got to be careful what you say, Lee.
Yeah, I understand that. If it was you and me working in there and then we got wind of what was going down, we would get killed for if we spoke out about it. But what I'm saying is,
scared the likes of this, doing a live on it and showing people what's being found. You're like, oh my God. I mean, even that girl, the Epstein girl, like, supposedly unalived herself. I believe that was murder. They got rid of her. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that.
Just from what I've seen about it, just from what I've seen about it, I think that there was a lot more going on in her life at that time as to why she supposedly took her own life. But again, I just, from what I've seen about it, I just would think that well, maybe if the family did think that somebody had her taken out, that they wouldn't speak on it out of fear.
They shut up, yeah. Yeah.
Too. It's just amazing that it could just happen to anybody if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, you used to only hear about this in the mob world, right? Somebody saw the mob do something, so they had to be taken out, right? No, it's not just them. It's these people that were holding, you know, they're holding offices, and and we respect them just for the office that they hold, and just to know that there's this much power is so scary.
And it's the likes of Epstein, with what he knows and who he knows as being there and being involved in what's been going on. They're terrified that he could get to the stage of talking. You know, once he's in there, he's in a cell, people can be made to talk. And they're terrified of what's going to come out. It's okay speculating is speculation, and that's it. But when there's something that can be proved, they want to get shuttier. So that's why they unalived him. It wasn't because of what he did. It was because of what he knew, in my opinion.
Wow.
So
Melly Jo says, I think her husband did it. Very possible. Hi, Darlene. Good to see you. She says, hi, all. My friend was leaving home to testify against some top cops. He was shot in his driveway before court. The FBI.
That was a big trial against his, was it his wife? Or is it not that one?
I think it happens a lot. The FBI says it's still organized crime. Right. Right. Anne says it happens to more than we think. Yeah. And Melly wants to know if he survived. While you're answering that question, we'll move on. We'll keep going with this.
Yeah.
You know, to be cremated.
And if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna put the settings up a little bit faster. They're talking slow enough where I think we can understand the playback speed at 125.
Why
which it has been, and then placed there's a
just fast forwarding it a little bit, so he'll talk a little quicker.
Okay.
Because it's an hour and a half almost. So I need to just stay right here so we can get rid of this includes all the ads.
Maybe you can just hear one today and do another tomorrow.
Okay, well, yeah.
See how it goes, see how long it takes.
Okay, here we go.
You know, a cemetery here in Florida where his remains are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're in a vase, stuffed into one of these places. Stuffed, that's not accurate, but it's placed in there and it's unmarked.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. I had never heard I look up all the time, like where John Wayne Gacy's body's at, where Epstein's body's at, where Jeffrey Dahmer's body. Do you guys ever look that stuff up and want to know where they're buried? Yeah. Usually they don't give you any information on it because desecration and people stealing cremains or remains or anything like that. So I'm shocked that he actually said I didn't know where he was. There you go. He's in Florida in an urn.
Joseph Scott Morgan tells where his parents are.
Oh, wow.
And he says, go and say hello to them. Now, let's say with someone that's got it in for someone. I mean, they might not like him because he's give the verdict of how someone died and they didn't want it. So they could go and target something that's, close to his house. It's like his parents' grave. Crazy.
Yeah. I wonder if it's in the same grave. Well, we can find out. That's what he was just talking about. Let me back it up just a little bit for those that didn't hear where he was talking about where he's buried. All right, here we go.
And go with his body, to be cremated, which it has been, and then placed in. There's a cemetery here in Florida where his remains are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're in a vase, stuffed into one of these places. Stuffed, that's not accurate, but it's placed in there, and it's unmarked. So yeah, I hope that those essential elements were retained, so that, I don't know, if it comes up again, another person can take a look at it. But you kind of lose, we were talking about a little while ago, how, you don't have a sense for what happened, 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the way things work out in forensics. Many times you have to go back and review years and years and years from now. And I don't know what kind of conclusions he'll draw. I haven't personally seen the autopsy photographs at all. I think that would be quite interesting, to see. Who try to understand.
Are they? I'm sure they're still somewhere where you can get. If you wanted to get access to them, could you?
I don't know. I don't know how the laws are set up with state of New York. I don't know if you can file a FOIA request and actually get those or not.
What other elements of this murder do you find most interesting? Other
the
than
ligature they're
bone?
trying to sell me on.
The ligature.
Yeah, that piece of cloth, which the corrections officer claimed that he claimed, not Morgan.
The corrections
claimed that
officer.
he cut it away. Well, the ligatures that you see, like this
Go
one right
to
here,
that orange thing. Yeah,
it has no tool marks on it at all. It hasn't been cut. All right. So I don't know. And you can see the base knot right there is tied. It's still intact. I'm assuming that he used some kind of odd slip knot there. I can't manipulate to hold it to try to understand it, but that has not been cut. This guy claims that it had been. Again, where are you going to tie off from in there in order to generate this kind of force, in order to have this level of trauma that was supposed to be inflicted by that thing there? And was it collected? Was it collected, and that there was transfer evidence on it that's indicative of in multiple locations? So if it's going circumferentially, going around the neck, or there are multiple points where you're collecting DNA specific to this injury, you look at the area on his neck, and Danny, it's abraded. It's like an abrasion, so it's very deep. Not only just trace elements or touch DNA, I'm talking about, did they actually find skin? Did they actually find hair, from facial hair from his neck? Was any of that stuff retained? Did they examine all of that? Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know about this, and try to understand it. And then you got the time element that's involved. When they got to his body, he was cool to the touch. He'd been down for some time. And he's cyanotic. You can see they've actually got photos of him being wheeled in, if memory serves me correctly. And he's got kind of the eggplant head, which you see with people that are in a cyanotic state, where they're turning purple, like this. So something has happened that's compromised his airway. Could it be? Yeah, sure, it could be. But if I were a betting man,
you would say murder.
At this point, I'd say undetermined, perhaps.
Right.
I'd have to know more information. Problem with working anything in a correctional facility is that it's very difficult. I've worked cases in correctional facilities, and it is not the most ideal set of circumstances to be in.
Have you ever seen another hanging like this in a correctional facility, in a prison?
Not like this, no.
Do you know what the most common forms of are in prisons?
If I were betting on it, I'd say probably
The same thing?
Yeah,
That's
hanging.
the most common?
Yeah. There's something else here's something else that was fascinating to me about this whole circumstance. We have this. Okay, I think most of us. I love the movie Shawshank. I love that movie. It's like what they call it, a remote drop. It doesn't matter where it's at in the movie. I'm going to watch Shawshank Redemption. I know that this is a Hollywood depiction, but every prison I've ever gone in, or correctional facility I've ever gone in to work a case, there was a certain level of order when you go into the cell. Have you seen the images from inside this guy's cell? It looks like a pigsty.
Right.
There's ripped up material all over the place. He's got a
Can you find photos, Steve?
He's got a bunk that's absent a mattress, and there are drugs, prescription meds that are all on the top. You can see the med vials. Most of the time if you're on medication in a prison, first off, you're in custodial care of the state. All right. I say state, I mean, you're in custodial care of, right there, the one to the left. You can see it.
Look at that.
Yep.
Oh my God! Look at that. That's crazy.
So
There's
why
a bunch of
was he
prescription
got
drugs and
his
stuff
hands
on
on
top
that?
bunk, like it's a little pharmacy up there.
Yeah. Precisely.
I mean, all how? I mean, are they being placed there after he was unalived or what? I mean, I'm looking at those little orange things. They look like tangerines to me. Do you think, Lee? Can anyone hear me?
Damn it. That happens to me all the time. I've been here talking with you, Maggie.
It's
If you were
okay, Gail, I do it.
here, I have a question though. First of all, I can't believe all that's there. But if you were gonna unalive yourself, why wouldn't you just take all those pills and go to sleep?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be, because they do say, pardon me, they do say that people that use this kind of method of unaliving themselves, it is painful. It's not unless you have fallen far enough and hard
Yeah.
enough, you don't to break your neck. It's not an automatic
It's a slow death,
death.
isn't it?
It's a slow, scary, painful death. You can't breathe. So why, if I was in dire straits and I was just going to unalive myself, Maggie, I would take all that medicine right there and just go to
Exactly.
sleep.
Or I'd take that and throw it something around my neck as well. You know, if I wanted to make sure I was doing it properly. Can you see the way it's tied there to the bunk? Is that where it was tied for him to do what he was doing?
You mean right here?
Yeah. It looks like. Can you see what I mean? And the other side.
I'm not sure. I don't understand what this is. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
Let's keep going. Maybe they'll show a different picture.
Precisely. And so there would be like a nurse that would come by and they'd give you the little white paper containers that contain your meds. They keep control of your meds. They watch you take your medication. You wash them down. This guy's got, and I have yet to be able to determine what all of that stuff is, but there is a slew of it that's up there. The floor is littered with these ripped up bits of cloth.
What's that photo on the top left, Steve? It has 3 photos. Yeah. Zoom in on that one on the left.
What the fuck?
Oh, it's a YouTube.
Thumbnail.
It's a screen capture.
Well, there's another picture of it. Oh, there you go. Zoom in on.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is what you're talking about, Mags, right?
Yeah.
Like, is that the ligatures that he used? Is this the ligature he used?
That's what was used, Jeff, but that's what Joseph Scott Morgan said before. It was supposed to have been cut, and that hasn't been cut, he said.
I want to see this one right here, too. Hi, little girl. Okay, let's keep going.
The one on the left. Wow, look at that.
Oh, my.
Do you notice what's down the right-hand corner?
Who lives like that, you guys?
Look like what he spotted in the right-hand corner.
Right here?
Yeah.
Well, let's find out.
There, Danny.
Is it like a boombox?
I think it's a CPAP machine.
And he's got CPAP machine.
And he's got that in there with an electrical cord. That's an electrical cord.
Why
I've
wouldn't you use an electrical
homicides
cord?
over the course of my career that have been
Exactly,
committed
that's what he's saying.
with utilizing some type of cord that comes off of a device or like a drop cord, like an extension cord. It creates kind of a more narrow furrow. They're abrasive when you apply them to the skin. How does this guy even have access to all this stuff? And I understand if he's got sleep apnea, he has to be on a CPAP machine. Okay, that's cool. But that should be integrated into the investigation. Was that thing collected? Did they run down the length of this cord just to look for DNA? And yeah, by virtue of the fact that it's in his space, his DNA is going to be on it. But what areas of that cord is his DNA in? Okay.
Bye, Ann. Thank you for coming in, Darlene. Thank you so much for coming in. If you happen to fall asleep, honey, we appreciate you just coming and hanging out with us as long as you can.
Okay. It's not just saying, well, yeah, his DNA was in it. That's intellectually lazy.
Yeah.
So were there particular areas where it was concentrated along the cord, that sort of thing, just looking at this. And look, again, I've got folks I teach with that are correction specialists, that teach corrections. I've actually talked to them about this. And one of the things that you want in an environment, a corrections environment, is you want order, because if you have chaos in that environment, that chaos spills over to other inmates and, you know, the staff and everything else. Who's watching over this guy? Because this thing is squalid. I mean, it's absolutely positively squalid. He has no order in this environment whatsoever. And he's just come off of side watch. How does he have access to this stuff? And if he's got these problems, it was
like a day before, I think, that he was taken off watch.
Precisely. And there was some other, it has been alluded to that there was some kind of, you know, Donnybrook with somebody else at some point in time that I've heard people talk about. Well, was his hyoid fractured prior to this event, and because he was cellies with somebody else, or he had a confrontation with somebody else, is that a survivable thing? I can't answer that question. I think that I would want to know. Was there any focal areas of hemorrhage where this thing had hemorrhaged out, and that there were signs of the bone? You get this kind of modeling that goes on with bone, even kind of in the immediate. If you've got this pre-existing fracture, which I'm highly doubtful of this, where the bone is trying to heal itself, and you can see evidence of that. So how fresh was this? You know, did it happen as a result of this? Does he have, and again, this stray mark that's on, you know, back here at the base of his neck is an odd finding as well. There's a lot here that doesn't marry up. Timing is a big element here, a lack of accountability. And, you know, if we were in my field, if we were working this case, we would want to be very, very exacting about who saw him, what was his affect like at that point in time? Was it down, up? Was it flat? You know, how was he behaving? Had he requested any kind of special treatment? Gee, I'm feeling really blue right now, even though I've just come off a side watch. You know, because even in a case like this, in the medical legal world, we're going to track down psychiatrists. We're going to have a conversation with them because we want to know everything about this guy. And so far, it's such a damn muddled mess at this point, and has been since the beginning.
I'm going to stop it right there because I think this is a good time to bring this in, since he said what was going on. He just said who was watching him, who saw what happened before, why was his room such a mess. I think this is a good time to bring this part in right here. So we're going to put this on hold. Give me a second. We're going to remove that one, and we're going to put up this one.
I mean, you can see the state of that room. There's been an altercation of some sort, or that could have happened when they went in and found them, if they found them, or when it was happening. But it is in a state, and then all the tablets not on rings right, the cords as well on the floor. I mean, you'd use that before you try a sheet. But yeah, this is the clip, Lene.
Yes, this is a clip of what happened right before, what you see happening right before his room. I think his room is number 46 right here. If you guys could see my cursor, I think this is his room right here. I don't think there's any, pardon me, I don't think there is any sound to this. This is from the Independent, you guys, is our source here.
As well, because it's done in a split second. Yeah,
so this is just a minute. This is a minute 49, okay? And this shows Jeffrey Epstein's final movements captured on surveillance video shortly before his death. Okay, so mind you, he's up here. There's only one thing I do know about where he is housed. There's only one way up and one way down.
Lee,
yes.
You know, on the left side there of the clip, it looks like under the wherever it, you know, the thingy station where they sit and watch. It looks mirrored. It looks mirrored at the bottom, because you can see a reflection in that, and there's someone standing there. And
right like here.
Yeah.
Okay, so like these are bars. So these are bars. You'll be able to see it in a minute. This is bars. You're actually looking through the bars at a person. And remember, this is down on the first floor. These are stairs right here. So this goes down the stairs here. This is a person's down it. It'll show you in just a second.
at a
All right.
station. It seems like that's a desk where they sit behind watching footage.
Right here.
So, but I'm not getting how you can see outside. It doesn't. If you understand, that part would be some type of like a wall, wouldn't it? You know, under the desk.
Under here.
If you get what I mean, right? You see under the brown, and you can see
Yes.
the bars.
Yes.
Right. All right. On the left-hand side there by the blue thing, I could get why you see that, the stairs. But I don't know how you're seeing outside underneath the desk, so to speak, under the brown.
This isn't a desk, honey. This is the railing. It's a wooden
What's that
railing
above it?
up here.
Yeah, what's all that?
This is another set of stairs right here. Here, let me make it bigger.
Oh God, Lene.
This is
just
another.
come to me. I can see it. I can see
Okay,
it.
can you
I
see it
was
now?
seeing what looked like a desk. Yeah, I was seeing what looked like a desk. Now it's like looking over the landing, so to speak, down. I'm on it now. To me, when I looked at that, it was like some sort of reception area where like a desk. So yeah, I'm sorry. Go on, carry on, Lee.
It's okay. All right. I don't think this has any sound to it, but just in case it does, you guys watch your ears, okay? Because I haven't touched the sound. Here we go. All right.
Did you see it? I never seen it.
I thought that his cell was upstairs. So this is not show. They're showing that a guard is walking out with him like from here, and they go this way, and I guess his cell is down here. But here's the deal.
Down them stairs, he come down them stairs, like at the beginning. He brought him down the stairs by that blue bucket, whatever it is. You see him coming down the stairs with him. So, but you don't see them bringing him back. But then you see a bin outside this green door, which looks like a plastic sheeting hanging out of it.
Let's look at this right here, you guys.
Hey everybody, Dr. G here.
Again, this is Dr. G. This is not mine and Maggie's work. We're just now finding this guy's going to break down this for us. So in I don't know who he is or whatever, but we're just using this as fair use. Let's see what he has to say on this. I want to make
sure
that we.
Ask Lee before
Yes,
you put
absolutely.
It on? Did you see him going up?
No, not up. No, but I think this one's going to show the man in orange going up.
Yeah, because that's the one I seen. But just watch how Epstein comes down the stairs.
All right, let's see what this guy says. Hold on.
clinical and forensic psychologist, as well as a body language expert. But today, we're not going to be analyzing body language. Today, we're going to be doing a forensic analysis of Jeffrey Epstein's death. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. All right, let's go. Now, if you've been watching my coverage of Epstein, you'll see that I have already analyzed quite a lot of footage from this night. However, there's a segment that I have not covered, and when we combine that with the DOJ's report, which we are also going to review a little bit of, I think we have found Jeffrey Epstein's killer. And by the time I'm done talking about all this, I think you might come to the same conclusion. All right, let's just jump right in. So where we're starting is about a minute before we spot who I believe is Jeffrey Epstein's killer. Right now, you can see that one of the officers, her name's Officer Noel, her name's going to come up a few times, so I want to go ahead and tell you her name. She's sitting at the desk where the officers sit. You're going to see her get up in a minute, and it's going to be important that you see where she walks. Because if you're to understand the layout of this place, if you look right here, that's a staircase. You're seeing just a sliver of it. That's a staircase that leads up to what's called Tier L.
Okay, I thought he was upstairs.
Is where Jeffrey Epstein is housed. We're going to look at a picture of Tier L later, but right now you can see.
Let me stop it right here. So I guess all these, see how there's a set of stairs here and it goes up to your room, and then a set of stairs here goes up to your room. Jeffrey Epstein's stairs are right here, if you could see my cursor, and it looks just like this. You see what I mean? And I think there's only one, because this is solitary. This is confinement, right?
So in that case, Lene, that means that man that was shown in the orange could have been going up the stairs.
Right.
I don't
So
know. I can't understand it now.
Let's see what hopefully he breaks it down even more.
Yeah.
I knew Jeffrey was upstairs, but I didn't notice that that's what this was until he just said it. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Officer Noel is getting up, and as you watch, she walks right off the screen. Clearly, she didn't walk up the stairs. I paused it. Clearly, she did not walk up the stairs. She walked directly off. We're going to watch that one last time so you can see what that looks like. All of this matters. Just bear with me. It's so hard to see. It's important to watch it a couple of times. Okay.
Yeah, she's too far away from the stairs.
So what we're going to do now is skip ahead about a minute so you can see this orange figure walk up these stairs. Now, as you can see, as I pointed out before, clearly Officer Noel did not walk up the stairs. But what the DOJ alleges is that this is in fact her carrying either linens or clothes up the stairs, and that must be what we're seeing. But we've got a lot of details around that we're going to get into from the report that make this much more complicated. Let's just jump right in and watch it, and then we'll talk more about it. So here we are, nearing 10:40 p.m. I want you to watch on the staircase. You're going to see what looks like a figure dressed in orange walking up the stairs.
Right in this circle. Yep.
So clearly this is the color of their jumpsuits. Mm-hmm. No question about that. Let's watch this again. And as far as I can tell, you see somebody moving around. I don't see any parts that do not look orange. Because what is said in the report, let's actually read the report right now. I'm going to pull this up, although we're going to be going much deeper into the report. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about specifically what it says. Through review and analysis of the shoe video footage, witness statements, and BOP records, the OIG determined that at approximately 10:40 p.m., which is what we're looking at right now, a CO, in other words, a correctional officer, believed to be Noel, carried linen or inmate clothing up to L tier, which was the last time any CO approached the only entrance to the shoe tier in which Epstein was housed. Okay. Now, I dispute that that's what's happening here. One, because it looks like somebody's actually wearing orange. And two, because you're going to see for many reasons why that is inconsistent with what comes next. We're going to watch it one last time, and then we're going to move on, and we got a lot more to look at. Because it looks almost like somebody's arm reaches out, or there's something that comes out right here that is also orange. I'm going to go through a variety of reasons why I do not believe that that's somebody carrying linens. And even the report by the Inspector General of the Department of Justice says they believe it was Officer Noel. They do not confirm that it is Officer Noel. And when we go over the details, you're going to see why that seems even flimsier. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead to the next time we see somebody come in frame. Now I want you to keep in mind, I'm watching this with a very critical eye. you do not see anybody come back down the stairs. There's at no point during this segment that I'm going to skip to that anybody walks down that stairs. You don't see a hand, a leg, a foot, anything. We skipped about a minute ahead, and now we're going to see the next person come into frame. Now, this is Officer Noel again. Now, did you notice how she came in? Directly right to left. There was no part where she walked down the stairs. You didn't see her coming down the stairs and curve towards this. Once again, we're going to look at footage later of somebody doing that so you can compare it with this. But at no point did we see her walking down those stairs. So at this point, nobody has come back down. One person has come up, and we have not seen anybody come back down again. Now, the question is, when would they come back down? How would they get out if we didn't see them yet? They have to come out at some point. So there's really two possible explanations for if one person came up that we didn't see come back down, what happened? Well, one of them would be, as they're coming back out, maybe it's possible that off in the distance they spotted this camera or realized there was a camera here. Because obviously, if they knew that ahead of time and they were trying to stay hidden, they would not have been visible at all as they walked up those stairs. The other possibility would be that there's a time that's missing from this video, and that's when they left. We're going to skip ahead for a minute. You probably know what's coming next. So here we are at 11:58 p.m. at night. Most of you that have seen anything about this footage know that we are getting ready to come up on a missing minute. So why is this minute missing? Well, if it's missing for a reason, if there's something they didn't want you to see, it's very possible that there's some orange that reappeared during that minute, but we don't know for sure. What we do know is that at no point did we see anybody come back down after they went up.
What goes up must come down. I'm just telling you, that's science. And I want to know how they accounted for that minute that's gone.
Yeah.
That is wild.
And
At
I
10:40
believe,
p.m.
sorry,
Go
just
ahead.
like you, that was his cell there. And the guy in the orange, I didn't even notice the stairs. They didn't mention the stairs on the one I seen. Come up, and I thought he was going up a ladder.
Oh no, I've always known it was stairs.
Oh, well, I didn't see. I'm picked. Go on, Lee, carry on.
Okay.
So now what we're going to do is compare officers walking up those stairs to the person in orange that we saw earlier.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see
As
that.
you can see right there, that's what it looks like when an officer walks up the stairs to L tier. Let's watch that again. As you can see, they're very clearly wearing dark clothing. There's no orange. There's nothing that could possibly be mistaken for that. So there you go. That's actually somebody leaning over. They're handing something down.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of the height right there. That proportionally, I mean, this stuff is so hard to see. I know it's frustrating to try to look at. And I assure you that when we compare this to the DOJ report, you will truly understand why I've come to the conclusion that we have actually seen Jeffrey Epstein's killer on this video. So there you can see, that's what it looks like with somebody coming down the stairs. You can see just a little bit of an outline as they're running down. See, that's what going down the stairs looks like. Now, somebody could avoid being seen if they wanted to. They'd have to be aware of this camera, and they'd have to be trying not to be seen. So sure, it wouldn't be that hard, I think, to sneak up and down. But if somebody's not trying to be seen and they walk down, that's what it looks like. That's why I wonder, why didn't we see that from Officer Noel earlier? Let's look at the orange figure one last time before we really get into the report. So as you can see, this person walking up, after walking.
Let me stop it right there because I want to tell y'all what the FBI says. The FBI says they said it missed a minute every night. They say it's just what the camera does every night. Skips a minute before midnight, so they already had the story ready. Wow.
I'm sure being in a facility like that, they'd have to get that fixed.
Oh,
for this very
absolutely.
reason.
Oh,
So they haven't wanted
absolutely.
to, yeah.
And here's my question. Why would there only be one camera here? Why isn't there a camera up there in that pod and that pod? And if there's
There'd
another
be one
pod,
everywhere, every angle would be covered.
shouldn't there be?
Yeah,
Hmm.
probably wrote that nice.
watching people leaning over, it almost looks like this person is leaning over. Like that's the head right there, and then that's the body right behind it. It almost looks like they're leaning over and looking at the desk where the officers sit. So now let's move on to the DOJ's report about this, because the DOJ's report is really why I've solidified my belief that this is in fact somebody who is not supposed to be there. Now let's look at the Office of the Inspector General of the Department of Justice's report on the night Jeffrey Epstein died. Now, I have analyzed some of this before, but what we're looking at here specifically is only going to be what's relevant to what we just saw. There's so much more in here. I have some other videos on it that I highly recommend you watch if you're interested in this. I talk about the DVR system, the security cameras, I talk about all sorts of strange inconsistencies, but all of this is going to relate back to what we just covered, and it will help you understand why I've come to the conclusion that I think that we have now seen Jeffrey Epstein's killer. So as we analyze this, there's a couple of things that you've got to know to make sense of it. One is that if you see SHU written anywhere, SHU, Special Housing Unit, that's where they are. They are in the Special Housing Unit. Jeffrey Epstein is on Tier L in the Special Housing Unit. So he's on Tier L of SHU. In addition to that, they're supposed to do head counts at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Okay, and they did not do any of those. We're going to get into the quotes about that. But understand, they're supposed to do that, and then every 30 minutes, they should be checking on the inmates. That's just part of what they have to do. That's their job. But understanding those fundamental facts helps you better understand some of what I'm seeing in all of this. So here's a couple of quotes I'm going to read you, then we'll talk about the relevance. It's going to get a lot more interesting as we go, but I'm going to try to be thorough, so I'm going to cover everything. So at approximately 8 p.m. on August 9th, SHU inmates were locked into their cells for the night, including Epstein, who was without a cellmate. All right, so at 8 p.m., everybody was locked in their cell. So they are saying that could not have just been an inmate walking around, period. 8 o'clock, that was 10:40. A search of Epstein's cell following his death revealed Epstein had excess prison blankets, linens, and clothing in his cell. So keep in mind, there were 3 other people in this tier aside from Epstein. We're going to go into what they said happened that night and what they recall. We talked about that in another video in a different way, but it's relevant to this, so we're going to go back to it. But keep in mind, there's only 4 people up there. So if linens and clothes were taken up there, they were taken up there either for Epstein or one of the other 3 people, and he had an excess of these things in his cell, which he shouldn't have had at all. The OIG also found that SHU staff did not conduct any 30-minute rounds after about 10:40 on August 9th, and that none of the required SHU inmate counts were conducted after 4 p.m. on August 9th. So they did not do any head counts, which is a really important part of a prison. And as far as the 30-minute rounds, from what they're saying is that what we saw at 10:40 was one of their rounds. That is the claim. This is one last part I'm going to show you from the intro of this. This is a 128-page document. We're not going to talk about every single page, but this is incredibly significant that this was in the introduction. Additionally, the OIG did not observe on the recorded video that Noel and Thomas being the other officer that came later, who were seated at the desk at the SHU officer station immediately outside the area where Epstein was housed, at any time during the time period, rose from their seats or approached the cell block. So they're basically saying that between 10:40 p.m. and 6:30 a.m., that at no point did they approach the cell block or rise from their seats, which is insane. They get up and move around non-stop that entire time. So the fact that it claims that at no point they rose from their seats is wild, but it goes to show that during the summary, it's trying to form a specific narrative, and it's saying something that is unequivocally, provably, and factually false in every sense of the word. Now, this I just highlighted because it continues to repeat and says many times throughout that Epstein had an excess of blankets, linen, and clothing in his cell. And if he had that excess, and yet at the same time they felt like they needed to bring somebody extra linens or clothes, how is it that they took an inventory of that? How did they know what anybody needed? Because they weren't checking on them. So why did they take, and who did they take the blankets and the linens to? Who was it that needed new clothes? There's no indication at any point as we go through this that anybody asked for that anybody received it. Let's just keep going. So here's another quote. Additionally, the OIG participated in interviews of 15 inmates who had been housed at MCC New York during the time periods relevant to our investigation, including 3 who were housed in the L tier of the SHU on the day Epstein died. Those 3 L tier inmates were housed in cells opposite Epstein's cell and therefore had a direct line of sight to Epstein's cell on the night of August 9th and 10th. Now, as we're going to see when we look at what the cells look like, while technically true, it's not quite the nature of the way that sounds, because it looks like if you're going to have a direct look at somebody else, you actually have to go up to what appears to be a little window. So unless you're literally standing at your door, you don't have a direct line of sight.
And you have to add this. Now, like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. I believe he was murdered. But let's be real. If I was in prison, and I would only be in prison for one reason, and it's because I would be there for murder myself, which would mean, and the only reason some people are walking around today that I haven't murdered yet is because I've got a conscience and I have a few morals, and I believe that I don't want to spend my life in prison. But if I did not mind knocking somebody off and just didn't give a damn, y'all, if the guy next to me wants to kill himself, I'd be like, I'll give you some of my linens, what you need. Yeah, it's not like even if I watched him do it that I was going to say anything. These criminals, they're not going to say shit. What says you, Maggie?
I agree. I
They're not
agree
gonna-
100%.
You can't go off of what other criminals are saying in there,
No.
even though I believe that they'll use shit against everybody too. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
going to tell the whole
I
world
mean,
that.
was anything done about them so-called? I know they're using that as an excuse, but at them not doing their job, not checking. Was anything brought about that?
I don't know. This is the first time I'm really digging into it. Beefcake knows all about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but just like he said though, in the forms it says that the officers didn't leave their area, so it couldn't have been them, but yet on video it shows them up and down all the time.
Mm.
So my question is though, if they were up and down all the time, why didn't they log their rounds that they're supposed
Yeah.
to do? I want to know. Somebody tell us, because this is important stuff.
Because when you start
it doesn't
listening,
look like you could be
start
sitting.
looking into all kinds, don't you? Then, and you start makes you want to ask questions. You know, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Oh man, wouldn't you have loved to be in the autopsy room?
Oh God,
Oh.
I'd be terrified, but I would love it.
Oh, I would love it too. We'd go with Lou and we'd be like, Lou, what's that? What's
Oh,
that?
fucking hell,
What's
I'd
he
be
doing?
glued to Lou's side.
Oh my
terrified.
God. Maggie, I would drain the blood. All right, let's go on.
Oh no, I'd be over the other side of the fucking room looking.
Oh no, I'm draining the blood.
No,
Draining it.
Scared to go near that dead body. Terrified.
And I'll talk to him the whole time.
Oh my God, so you can come.
I
and
will.
see
I'll
me,
be going.
Will.
It's not gonna hurt. It is.
Not gonna hurt. We're just gonna take.
And then I'll be like, Maggie, look at him turning white without blood inside of them.
Oh, I'll be
Oh, it'd be wonderful.
Oh, something wrong with it, guys, isn't there? You haven't known a creator in your life like her.
In your bunk and be looking at somebody else at the same time. You'll see for yourself when I get down to that. I'm trying to go in order. I could probably organize this a little differently, but this just makes the most sense to me. Another
Good
quote that
morning,
stands out
Joni.
because we're going to have more conflicting
Hi,
information.
Joni.
MCC New York SHU staff members do not conduct the 4 p.m. or 10 p.m. inmate counts. After approximately 10:40 p.m., SHU staff members do not conduct the required 30-minute rounds. Just keep in mind, they're saying that the 4 o'clock and 10 p.m. inmate counts did not happen. If you just want to understand how this is all organized right here is where the officers sit. L tier is right there. You can see this teeny little staircase right here that leads up. So look here at the stair. Now I want you to look at the way that this is set up right here. So there's one staircase leading down to M tier, and there's a staircase leading up to L tier. It's not all that wide. If you really hugged the right side of it, you could avoid being spotted on that camera. That would not be that hard to do. And then you can see where it leads up right here. Now, as I pointed out earlier, it looked like somebody either put their head out or put an arm out, maybe even leaned over, which would help them see if anybody was seated over here or if there was anybody that they weren't aware of down here. And then that leads right up into L tier. So think about this. It's claimed that Officer Noel walked up there at 10:40, but we never saw her come back down. I looked as best as I could. Unless she was avoiding being seen coming back down, we certainly didn't see her walk down. And we didn't
No.
see her walk down with linens. If the linens were spotted going up, they would be even more visible coming down because they would be in front of her. So what
So was she
happened
a
to
suspect?
the linens and the clothing?
Didn't they use that the person that we seen walking up and down was actually the cops? Wasn't that the line they were trying to feed everybody that
To be
that-
honest, I don't know, Lee. I've never looked into it as deep as I have, like, since yesterday.
oh, now we're screwed, Maggie, because we're going down this
No, we're
hole.
going to have to find out. Can you
Everybody's
let
already
me-
in the hole. If you know, you're welcome to come on panel with us next time. But when we talk, because we're going to be talking about this, because now me and Maggie got to know everything that's going
Yeah,
on.
I want to know now what they says, what they come up with.
That allegedly she took upstairs. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense at all. And if she did give them to somebody, that's not indicated here because nobody indicates that they received any of those things. So here's what I was talking about, how to be able to see into somebody else's cell, you'd have to be standing right up there. The windows are tiny. And here you can see Eltier's entry door. And there is Epstein's cell right there open.
Oh.
And there's the little window I was talking about. So when they say they have a direct line of sight, like I said, in theory, that's true if you were like standing up and looking through that window. But otherwise, you're not going to be able to see much of anything unless somebody passes right in front of your door.
Even
Now, this
that
is
part,
significant because there's a
'cause,
very
sorry,
important point I'm going to
don't you
talk about in a
think-
minute.
if they look through the door, they've got to have full view of that cell. So if that was the window, they've only got a view of half of the bunk. So but I think that's the door opener bit. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Yeah, but look, this don't make any sense. There had to have been noise.
Yeah, of course. He must have been kicking out or whatever, because it must have been a struggle, even himself, if he's done it himself.
Yeah.
Once you realise you can't breathe, you're going to go haywire.
Yeah, it's you actually have a panic attack.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what I've heard.
And
I
the
don't
state
know
of the
anything.
room, it looks like everything was kicked everywhere.
Yeah, it's
So something would have been heard for sure.
mhm. And imagine how many
Investigation,
could you imagine being just, you're doing your job, you're just this officer that guards inmates, and then these scary men in black come to, I'm being I'm totally probably blowing it out of proportion, but I have to fantasize it. These scary men in black with black sunglasses come up to you and they say, "Hey,
You don't see
we're part of the government. You don't see nothing. You do as you're told.
Yeah.
You don't say nothing. Don't do nothing. You act like you don't see nothing, and then you're just scared. to death.
Okay, I'd be fucking terrified.
Yeah, and then they're like, "And you better show up for work tomorrow, or else."
Oh my God.
Y'all, have you called Maggie?
I'll be saying, I'll cook you dinner. Come home, I'll have you the fucking bathroom, love, if you want. I'll be saying, "Oh, don't." I swear to God, I won't say nothing. I'm too scared.
Me too. I would cave. I'd be like, "Look, I see. I'm going to the shitter for about an hour. Y'all do what you got to do." I'd be so scared. I'd have to go to the shitter because I'd be shitting my pants.
Lene, you'd be shitting through the eye of a needle.
Oh my God. And then when the DOJ comes to me like they don't know what happened already, I'll be like, "Look, I was in the shitter. Hey, terrible stomach ache."
3 weeks after, Lene's still having a shit.
I'd be shitting every time I came to work.
I mean, how many was in on it? So how many staff was that nice? I want to know that as well. How many staff was influenced? How many staff was on?
And did they pay them? Or did they just tell them, "You shut the hell up"?
Oh, no, they just get told to shut the fuck up. That I wouldn't need to get paid, would you?
No, I would shut the fuck up.
No, I'd just say, fuck that. I'm not saying nothing, love. I swear down. You can count on me. Oh,
Yeah, I would shut the fuck up and go sit on the toilet. I'd be having irritable bowel syndrome that quick. I ain't kidding. And I'm taking my phone with me so I can play some games while I'm in there shit my brains out. Oh my God, this is scary.
oh my God, isn't it awful?
That I think is extremely important. And I'm not just trying to get you to sit through this video. It's just hard to go through every last thing without going in order. But there's something about tearing the sheets that's going to really stand out. I just want you to get an idea of how close this officer's station is to Epstein's room. It is not that far from his cell at all. All right, now we're getting to a section I call 73+1. This is very confusing. I had actually thought about doing a video on this previously, but it's so confusing, in fact, that I thought, you know what, I'm just going to skip it. But actually, it's too relevant to this, so we're going to go over it. Try to bear with me. I'm going to explain it as best as I can. So what this is relevant to is how many people are housed in each tier. They do a head count. So in other words, they count how many inmates there are. Shouldn't change that much unless somebody leaves. I'm going to read a quote from it. We'll talk about it. We'll keep going. At the time of the 10 p.m. count, all inmates in the MCC New York SHU, including Epstein, were locked in their cells for the night. All right, makes sense. Nobody's up and around after 10 p.m. At or around that time, the two officers assigned to the SHU were responsible for conducting the 10 p.m. stand-up count. At 10 p.m. on August 9th, the two assigned SHU officers were Noel and the material handler. Through a review and analysis of the SHU security camera video, witness statements, and BOP records, the OIG determined that MCC New York staff did not perform the 10 p.m. count in the SHU, so it was not done at 10 p.m. Nonetheless, Noel and the material handler completed and signed the 10 p.m. SHU count slip. The 10 p.m. SHU count slip listed the total number of inmates as 73 plus 1. So all of that is to say that they didn't actually do the head count, but they counted 73 inmates, and there was a +1 written on there. So that was wherever they sourced that information, that's what they wrote down. It'll all start to make more sense in a minute. The material handler verified that he and Noel signed the 10 p.m. count slip and believed that Noel called the control center with their count numbers. He did not know why the count slip listed 73 plus 1. That +1 was unusual. Noel told the OIG that she had conducted the SHU count alone at 10 p.m. and that the material handler signed the count slip even though he did not conduct the count with her. However, the OIG's review and analysis of the SHU security camera video conflicts with Noel's statement that she conducted the 10 p.m. count. So, and we know that she falsified this, but she claimed, even in spite of all this, that she actually did the 10 p.m. count, which we know for a fact she didn't do. Noel said she wrote the 73 on the count slip, but she did not remember if she or someone else had written +1 on the count slip, and she did not know why +1 was on the count slip. So that seems like a pretty strange thing to forget, whether or not you had written +1 on the count slip. Now, I understand why she's saying she didn't know why +1 was written on there, but to say she didn't remember whether or not she had written it on there, there needs to be a much better explanation than just she just doesn't remember. We're going to get into why 73 matters so much and the +1 matters so much in a minute, but I just want you to keep in mind those are the numbers that they're sticking with. Noel said she did not know that the 10 p.m. SHU count slip, which listed 73 inmates, was inaccurate, and she could not explain why the 12 a.m. count also inaccurately listed that 73 inmates were physically present in the SHU, whereas the 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. count slips accurately listed 72 inmates in the SHU. So there were actually 72 people there, but for some reason, at both 10 o'clock and at 12 o'clock, she said there were 73.
Oh,
and then the next count, which they falsified, but at the next count, they were actually accurate and said 72.
Oh.
So why is it that both 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, they had an extra inmate?
Oh, does that mean that the +1 was the killer?
Yeah, waiting to
Oh,
strike.
good stuff. I like this dude, even though he's got no eyelashes. Maggie, we need to give him some eyelashes.
You'll have to follow him. I'll put some on him after.
Yeah, but just tell him. I mean, we'll be. I mean, I'm just gonna tell him. Look, she's being honest with you when she tells you put the Vaseline on because you're gonna color your whole face. because he needs eyelashes. All right. Oh my God, that's perfect. I love it. Let's
See?
keep going.
Oh, I want to follow you this more now. Come on, dude.
Listed on the official documents that they wrote. When questioned by the OIG about the 10 p.m. shoe count slip that listed 73 plus 1 inmates and was signed by the material handler and Noel, Senior
Hold on a
Officer
minute.
Specialer
What
6
does
told the
What
OIG
does Melly Joe believe? What do you believe that too? What do you believe? A lot of guards are thugs and will do anything for money. That's
Yep.
why there's drugs and cell phones in all jails. Oh, I believe that with the normal inmates.
Oh,
But
yes.
with the top fellas who have you finished off, I think they wouldn't need paying, would they, JB? Fucking terrified. Sit open your mouth. Oh, God.
I mean,
Sorry, Lou.
who was it? It was it Koberger or was it Richard Allen got busted already for having a cell phone? It's probably Richard Allen.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't remember that.
he believed the +1 on the count slip was in his handwriting. So in other words, for whatever reason, this person, this senior officer, said that he probably added the +1. So Senior Officer Specialist 6 said that because there were in actuality only 72 inmates in the shoe during the 10 p.m. count, he should have written 73 minus 1 on the shoe count slip rather than 73 plus 1. So now this is part of why it gets so confusing. So there were actually 72 inmates. So basically what was done is called ghost counting, or at least according to the Senior Officer Specialist, where you add a plus or minus 1 onto the official forms. It says ghost counting is not permitted. You can't do that. So why he's claiming that that's what he did continues to be puzzling. So not only was the 73 inaccurate, should have been 72, unless there was another inmate there at 1040. Not only was that inaccurate, he also wrote +1, which is a very strange mistake to make if you meant to write -1. The whole thing is incredibly strange. And nowhere in this does it give an adequate explanation. It just says this is what happened, and it moves on because they're just, I guess, saying mistakes happen. And that's part of the troubling part of this, is that things like that are never adequately explained. Now, here's where it starts to get even more confusing. Noelle told the OIG that she and Correctional Officer 3 conducted the 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. counts in MCC New York's 10 South unit, which is the single-celled structure unit attached to the shoe, adjacent to the shoe. I do wonder if that's what room 46, if you see that door, if that's what leads to this area, the 10 South unit. So why is it that she's going to another unit to do counts and didn't do a single count in her own unit? That doesn't make any sense to me
None.
whatsoever. So she leaves the unit to go do counts elsewhere and doesn't count what she's supposed to. She doesn't even do her primary job, but is going somewhere else to do it. How does this make any sense whatsoever? So she wasn't willing to walk just a few feet to do a head count in her own units that were literally.
I'm just letting y'all know she should have just said she went to the shitter, because that's easier to explain than if she went to another unit to do someone a favor by doing their counts, but didn't do it in her own. I'd have just said I went to the shitter.
JB reckons it's been one of the officers that's done it, the guards.
Oh.
But why? So that orange bit was thrown in to make it look like an inmate or another inmate. Would you know what I mean? Do you think that, or did they dress in orange?
They would have had to have dressed in orange. That wouldn't surprise me if a guard did do it. It would be a lot easier to trust a guard to keep his mouth shut than to trust one of the people in prison. I mean, even though I think, like JB says, that a lot of the guards are very, very corrupt. But I mean, if you got someone that doesn't
would
even
he have
work,
been paid from? Would he have been paid off by someone big in on the inside? You know what I mean? Would it have been not just, it's a had to been worth his time, sort of?
Well, either that or it was actually
government. Like it was a hitman. Basically, I thought it was a hitman.
Yeah, maybe it was one of the guys. Maybe it was one of the guys in black.
And we needed to shut him up. He knew too much, Lene. And being in
he knew way too much.
It was there's always a chance he would speak, because
Yep.
once you're in there and you're stuck in there and you can get all these extras, favors and stuff like that, then you're going to talk for your own comforts.
Well, it's being said that, the recent emails about Andrew and his ex-wife that came out with Epstein,
Yeah.
and the reason why they're actually saying that Ghislaine Maxwell is the one that leaked those.
Yeah, well, I reckon that too, because
Yeah.
it's looking like that she could walk soon. I heard yesterday.
Well, she's in. I mean, I'm sure prison is prison to someone like her, but she's in the most nicest prison we have.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going with this. We're almost done with this one.
Feet away from her. And yet she walked up a flight of stairs, went through a door, went to a whole nother area to do counts elsewhere. It just doesn't add up. That just doesn't make any sense logically. And it also says that according to Noelle, no one other than the morning watch operations lieutenant and CO3 or correctional officer 3, as detailed later below, entered the SHU during her shift, which is, once again, verifiably and demonstrably false. There are many people that come and go from the SHU. And that's not just me thinking that you can see people. They come in and out through this door. There are plenty of people who walk through the SHU, not just these two. So that, once again, is unequivocally not true. So here's a quote from Officer Noelle that really stands out to me, and I think you're going to see why pretty quickly. When asked which rounds she conducted on August 9th, 2019, Noelle responded, "That's hard for me to tell because I didn't conduct it every 30 minutes. It was to give out food, pick up the trays, give out toilet paper, go down. Those were the rounds I conducted." You'll notice she didn't say anything about taking linens or bringing clothes to any of the inmates that night. All she talked about was giving out food, picking up trays, giving out toilet paper. She said nothing about bringing fresh linens or bringing fresh clothes. Now, if that was the only round she actually did that night, why isn't that one of the things that was listed off? Why was it every other thing? So right here, there's no evidence whatsoever that she, in fact, actually even claimed to have taken those things up to her. They come to that conclusion, but I haven't seen any quote where she says, yes, I, in fact, carried linens up there. She certainly didn't say it right here. Noelle told the OIG that she went through each tier in the SHU at approximately 10 p.m., which, according to the OIG, is not true. They have said in plain language that did not happen at 10 p.m. And at the time, she went to Epstein's cell and saw him laying on a mattress on the floor, which she said was typical for him. Epstein asked Noelle for his medical device, so she plugged it in for him. Noelle saw that Epstein was in the cell by himself and without a cellmate, but she maintained that she did not know that Epstein was required to have a cellmate. Noelle told the OIG that she went through each tier in the SHU at approximately 10 p.m., and at the time she went to Epstein's cell and saw him laying on a mattress on the floor, which she said was typical for him. Now, according to the OIG, she didn't actually check on him at 10 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
Epstein asked Noelle for his medical device, so she plugged it in for him. Noelle saw that Epstein was in a cell by himself and without a cellmate, but she maintained that she did not know that Epstein was required to have a cellmate. So this whole part right here is confusing because the OIG himself has claimed there was no 10 p.m. check-in. So it's anybody's guess as to what this is talking about. Through a review and analysis of the SHU footage, witness statements, and BOP records, the OIG determined that at approximately 10:40 p.m., a CO believed to be Noelle carried linen or inmate clothing up to L tier, which was the last time any CO approached the only entrance to the SHU tier in which Epstein was housed. So they're not even sure that it was Officer Noelle that went up there. Even though they're saying that it was somebody taking up clothes, they don't even know who it was. At no point did she say that she took clothes up there. At no point did anybody later on, which we'll get to, say that they received clothes or linens at that time.
So this doing a job, was she ever sacked?
I'm curious about.
You know what I mean? Because if that had been anything just genuine, they'd have been took off straight away for proving that they never checked on them. Blah blah blah. So that'd be interesting to find out. Does anyone know if she lost a job? Officer Noelle?
Is quite a conclusion for something that has zero evidence other than just That's the conclusion that they came to. This is not backed up by anything that we've seen. So now I'm going to read a little bit of when they found Epstein's body. Now, there's one part about this that really stands out to me. I'm going to explain why in just a second. Noelle heard Thomas call out for her to retrieve the cutter, and then she heard Thomas rip something. Now, she was outside of the cell, so she could hear Thomas ripping the piece of cloth that was around Epstein. But I want you to think about this. Think about how much force it takes to tear and rip something. It makes sense that she would hear that rip. So she said, hey, he ripped it. I don't even need to get a cutter because it was so obvious that something tore and something ripped. I want you to go back to how close that desk is to Epstein's cell. So if we're to understand right, her standing outside of the cell, she could hear this tiny little piece of cloth get torn as it was being pulled off of him. And yet Epstein shredding full-on sheets and clothes in order to make something,
and
none of that was heard.
It wasn't torn or ripped on the picture. It wasn't. What does everyone think there? By the picture we seen before on what's his name, Joseph Scott Morgan's live, he showed you the picture, and there was nothing that you could see it jagged or anything. So if something gets ripped and it's material, it's going to be jagged, and that wasn't jagged at all.
How much force it takes to shred something like that? It's not easy, and it is definitely audible. So there's no way you could quietly shred something. You couldn't do it peacefully and quietly. He didn't have any way to cut it. So he would have had to have torn it, and nobody could hear that. And yet right here, she's talking about the fact that it makes a sound when ripped. So here's something that I cannot explain. How is it that Epstein shredded and ripped this stuff? Nobody heard it. The inmates didn't talk about it. The COs didn't hear it. So how on earth did he shred these things and do it and be completely inaudible while doing it? Now, if somebody was going in there to do this to him, they probably would have gone in with things pre-shredded. They're not going to go in there and then shred up the sheets and clothing that are in there. So there's aspects of this that truly make no sense. And just to clarify for anybody wondering whether or not he had just done something sophisticated with a piece of cloth and didn't tear it, the photographs of Epstein's cell on August 10th, 2019 show an excess of blankets, linens, and clothing. Some of the linens had been ripped into thin strips, which were tied to the desk and bunk bed inside the cell. So they were ripped into thin strips. That would be audible. I don't know how he did it without that being heard. Just to briefly go into what the inmates saw. So inmate 5, who was also in the same tier, directly across from Epstein's cell. I talked about this before because of the timing of it, that he said that the last count was conducted a little bit before midnight. He doesn't say anything about anybody bringing him any sheets or anybody offering him any clothes, anything like that. Then we go into inmate 6, believe that the last check was between 12:30 and 1, something like that. Once again, no report that they got anything like clothes, sheets, linens, or anything like that. Inmate 7, who doesn't have as good a view as the other ones do, also didn't say anything about being brought anything at 10:40 at night. All right, let's go ahead and stop here. Hopefully this forensic analysis is helping you better understand some of this report as well as the footage that we watched. To me, it was incredibly compelling to see somebody
No mic on, Lee.
Gosh. All right, I'm going to stop it right there. I just want to put or let you guys know. Let me close this up a little bit. This is Dr. G Explains. That is his channel. I think I'm going to start watching. I like the way that he does it in layman's terms. And as you can see over here, he does have a lot of stuff going on. So, top 5 lies in Epstein's footage. All right. So, you guys subscribe to Dr. G Explains. I guess I'm subscribed now. Let me hit that like. I will send him an email and thank him for that. Y'all, this is,
link, Lee.
Huh?
Will you send me that link?
Yes.
Melly Jo, she's good. She normally send me them.
Okay. Anyways, y'all, if you want to, sub up to this guy. I mean, I like the way that he explains things. It's really
Yeah,
easy. He doesn't talk in technical terms where I'm having to use a dictionary to
exactly.
try to
Yeah,
figure out what the hell he's talking about. I don't like people that do that. I'm like, dudes, I'm not in a courtroom. Can we just, bring it down to my level? You know what I mean? Like,
good
let
at
me.
explaining, isn't it, to make you understand?
Yeah, I dig it. So let's go back over here. I just wanted to bring that in as to where
It was good that, Lee.
do what?
It was good that.
Yeah, I
Enjoyed
think
that.
so
Yeah,
too.
good.
All right, so let's take that off and finish this up with
Joseph
hold on.
Scott Morgan.
Joseph Scott Morgan. And also, like Maggie has told you guys, it talks about the Idaho 4 as well. I think we'll save that for maybe we can do another live tomorrow on that, because this has turned into a longer live than I thought it would be. But we thank y'all for
Very
being here with
interesting.
us, and it is
Yeah,
very
really.
interesting.
Yeah. I'm made
All right.
up, guys. I love it all.
I'm made up. We're all made up. All right. Thank you so much for dropping that in there, lunch lady. Love you so much for that. All right. Let's listen to him a little bit more, you guys. This is a corner. This is Dr. Joe Scott Morgan on the Danny Jones podcast, you guys. And we will get subbed up to them as well, which Maggie and I watch Dr. Joe Scott Morgan on Nancy Grace all the time because she gives them hell and we laugh. And he listen, he knows his shit. He fusses with Nancy and I love it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
If you do your job in the beginning and you stay the course and you keep things really, really simple, you're able to kind of cut through all of the static. The problem is this is a monster of their own making because they failed so miserably. The prison system failed, I think, monumentally, where he was housed, which I think if he is this valued, why do you have this guy in this particular location? Why has it been moved somewhere else where he can really be watched carefully? I've been on air with guys that practice in, not forensic scientists, with attorneys that practice in New York that would go and visit clients that were housed here. I've had multiple of these people say, we were terrified to go to this place. It was like Thunderdome.
I'd be scared.
And so you're going to
Go
stick
to
him in
county
here?
jail.
Okay, well, it's your business, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't add up to me.
And the other thing that's very odd is that I believe Bill Barr officially labeled this thing a sewer before the forensic analysis was even done.
He did. Yeah. And I got to tell you,
Is that normal?
An attorney is probably the last person I'm going to go to for an opinion about manner and cause of death.
Right.
I don't care, what kind of sheepskin they have hanging on their wall. They're not qualified to do that, particularly something that is this delicate. Now, I think that he even stated that he had watched the video. You're talking about the one with the orange blob or the minute that is allegedly missing or all. You're talking about that video?
Right.
Because, it was implied that, you kind of saw what happened. Well, that's an empirical impossibility. You cannot see what happened in there unless there's some other kind of videography that they have access that we don't have access to.
Right. It's all very odd. Do you think has there ever been another case where a high level murder or like this with like a person of his notability was where it was labeled to be either a homicide or before the medical examination has been done?
Oh, I'm sure that they exist. And,
but it's not common.
No, it's not. But anytime you get bureaucrats or politicians involved in anything, in my experience, relative to our field, it's a dangerous mix. You're running your mouth before your brain's in gear at that point in time. And that, that happens. It has happened in local cases. And then, if you come back and say something to the contrary, then you have these little stories that begin to bubble up. Well, there's a conspiracy or, this and that. And again, do your damn job on the front end. You won't have to go back and clean up messes at the end.
Right.
How about stop getting high like you're hiding from
We
your parents?
wish you a Merry Christmas.
Let's be real.
We
The days
wish
of
you a
sketchy
Merry
dealers
Christmas.
and mystery
We
are
wish you
over.
a Merry
You have a
Christmas
mortgage now.
and a
You
Happy
actually read
New
ingredient
Year.
labels. You
Good
own plants that are
tidings
somehow
we bring
still alive. So
to you and your
Now, why did you decide to do a deep dive on this Idaho case?
It was a number of reasons. First off, I started covering Idaho
No, Mike. No,
Oh,
Mike.
son of a bitch. Y'all got to get better than this. I'm a professional. So we're gonna stop it right there because I think Idaho's a whole different level of something, and I think
really good.
we're gonna have
Idaho.
2 hours on here, but Maggie and I will touch base, see if we can both get up early in the morning again and do another one of these, and then we'll listen to him cover Idaho, because Maggie's already watched this. She said it's really, really good, and it tells some gory details, and I love it. Lunch Lady said, sorry for not yakking, y'all. When I have the baby, I look her in the eyes and talk to her all day so she won't be a weirdo.
I know she's going to grow up into true crime listening to all this, Lunchy.
Oh, look at her mammy. It's Lunch Lady. And Lunch Lady said she doesn't want her to be a weirdo. Weirdo runs in our family. Hi, Peggy.
Oh, Peggy, we were talking about you before.
Yes,
Didn't you
girl.
say you seen that someone had got married to an airplane, Peggy? Let's see if I was right. It was definitely Peggy who told me that, or I'm definitely losing the plot.
Well, I think probably a little of both is happening.
Well,
completely
true.
honest.
I'm losing the plot, FO anyway. But Peggy definitely told me someone got married to an airplane. Peggy, is that true? Have I quoted you true there? If not, I don't know who's telling me. As I'd say, oh, Peggy's saying what? Peg, listen, when we were chatting in the chat, the last live, we were talking about mad things that people do. Did you tell me you'd seen someone got married to an airplane, whatever way you say it, airplane, whatever? Did you tell me that, Peg? Or have I read it? Or does anyone else tell me? Oh,
I
God,
just typed it in. Did someone get married to an airplane? And it's just talking about people getting married on an airplane.
Oh, someone was in love with a roller coaster. oh, well, that's near the sky. So we've got it a bit right.
Yeah, totally related.
Do you know what? You can't rely on me if I ever tell you anything, say, Maggie, can we go and check that up? Because, this is why I don't quote anyone, because I get it wrong all the time. Can't get stuck, guys. Oh, you sure, Peggy, you didn't tell me about the airplane? Sure, you did, Peg.
It goes up and it goes down, and it's everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, now I can't believe that. You never told me that. I've had that in my brain, thinking about it for ages.
It was someone who identified as a cat.
Look it up and I will find it. Hang on.
I looked it up. I couldn't find it.
I will. Getting married. If anyone could see my Google searches, getting married to an airplane. Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on, everybody.
Person, I better put, hadn't I? Oh, right, okay. A person, oh God, it's not even right. A person can't legally marry an airplane, but people have held symbolic wedding ceremonies. Oh, shut up, it was an airplane. When it said on planes, married humans with deep aviation connections. It wasn't that, they married an airplane. I know they did.
Were you dreaming?
I'm fuming now. I've never seen it. I want seen it, Lee.
Lunchy says maybe the roller coaster cars look like airplanes.
Listen, I would have, if anyone had said, did she say that? I'd have said, I'm going to put $1 million that she did say it.
Oh, man, we missed our opportunity because Peggy says, no, I've never heard of anyone who was married to an airplane, Maggie. Peggy said, pull your head out.
Shut up, you, Lene. Oh, I can't believe it. I've got it wrong. I was convinced because I've been thinking about it. Oh, God. Thinking about it, and it never even happened.
We won't tell nobody. cares over here, Maggie. Nobody knows we're even here, so don't you even worry about it. Nobody knows that your brain's gone and that you're just.
How about you, Soche? Us scouts, as you know, we love to look good. Oh, God, I've lost it. Now I know I'm really not taking things in my brain. So it was a roller coaster. How did I get from a roller coaster to an airplane? Is it the height? Oh, I don't know. And you know what? Nobody cares. Not a soul. Not a soul.
Maggie, Peggy said, drink more water, Maggie.
Well, you know what?
You're dehydrated.
Oh, God. You know what? Peggy could have seen me going around the chat going, Peggy told me that someone got married to an airplane and they'd have all been saying, oh, Peggy's lost the plot. And I'd be getting Peggy the blame. It's a good job.
Well, you know, it's she would just take it like, oh God, Maggie's finally jumped on the ships just like everybody else has. Blame Peggy. Peggy said this. Peggy said that.
Well, if you'd ever see me in the chat, which you don't normally because I don't go in them, but if you'd ever see me in a chat saying something, just say to everyone else, by the way, that's allegedly because Maggie isn't a full shilling. The lights are on, but there's no one home.
There's no one home. She's a Happy Meal who didn't get a toy, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Maggie, you're going to stay on for a little while because I think I am going to go take a...
Now 25 to 3 and I am still in bed. I'm getting up as fast as fuck and getting ready because no wonder these legs don't work. So I'm going to say good night and God bless.
You started this one, honey.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You started this one. I'm already putting up your thank yous. And so I will say good night, good day. Thank you everybody for being here. Last person out, turn off the lights and y'all be good at it. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, and make sure you don't just leave the cups in the sink that you washed them. Do you hear? And anyway, I'm definitely going to go and look on the last live that I did on my own, Peggy. I know we were talking UFOs, but I can't get that out my brain. You didn't tell me that someone did get married to an airplane. I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. So I'm going to have to look on the last live to see if the chat's there. I pray to God it is because, oh God, you just don't understand. This is going worse. I keep saying things and my husband looks at me and goes, I didn't say that. I said I say, and I am convinced as I am this. He did. Anyway, good night and God bless. Thanks for being here. And we'll continue tomorrow with a bit of luck because honestly, this ad was dead interesting. But it's a bit gruesome. And I know I love all that, but you know, I want to be in there, but I don't want to, if it's anything to stand next to a dead body, I don't want to do it. I'm terrified of them. So good night, God bless. Have a good day, whatever. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Tomorrow. It could be yours later. I don't know. Bye, everyone. Love yous. Ta-ra. Ta-ra. Have a good time wherever you are in the world. Bye.
Life is hard and life is wild. It can be sad or full of smiles. And every once in a while you need a break from the mundane. So come back to see your friend, or she'll wonder where you've been. According to Lene, she appreciates you and all that you do. You need her, but she needs you, and that's the beauty of according to Lene. So thank you for your time. You are a friend of mine. I'll be happy to see you again on the next According to Lene. Be good or be good at it until next time. Thank you for of Lene